guys, if you're new here, my name is Angela and I am documenting my quest to become a muscle mom through the ups and downs of regular life. It is a raw, unaesthetic look into me facing my health journey head on. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I would love for you to hit subscribe, stick around, and if you're on your own journey, please comment below because I'm looking for my people and I want to cheer other people on who are in the process of transforming their life. So today's episode is the 5th and final episode of my diet deprogramming series. And if you haven't watched any of those, if you're new here, please go back to my page, check out the playlist, everything's in order, and watching those will help today's video make a little more sense. So the subject for today is about choosing my health over just a goal of weight loss. And before I get started, since this is the internet, I have to say that I am not a qualified professional in any of the following areas: fitness, health, medical, nutrition, none of it. These stories are my experiences. They are for entertainment purposes only. If you're ever looking to change things in your life when it comes to your health or your fitness, obviously reach out to the qualified professionals that are a part of your life. So quick recap, my final video left off with me reviewing the 4 months of data that I had meticulously tracked and analyzed through ChatGPT. I had come to the conclusion that eating slightly in a surplus was actually really benefiting my mood symptoms of my PMDD, even better than going on SSRIs, which I don't want to discount because that was life-changing for me. And just getting diagnosed and knowing that that's what was going on when I would have really intense mood swings also helped me talk myself off the ledge. And I would say this is probably like the third part of that trifecta of eating enough protein, eating enough calories of good quality food really made a massive difference in how I experienced my PMDD. So at that point, it was roughly coming into the spring of this year, and I was trying to decide exactly how I wanted to attack things now. Like, obviously the goal was always weight loss at that point. I knew my TDEE, so I knew what I should try to aim for if I wanted to cut. And I also had a real understanding that it couldn't be a drastic cut, unfortunately, because now knowing how eating enough food impacted my PMDD mood symptoms, like, I couldn't unknow that. And so for the sake of my family and everyone around me, 2 weeks out of every month, I know that I can't do a 500 or 1,000 calorie cut, especially not for a prolonged period of time. It's just not going to work for me. I think I said in the last video, like, I knew that I had to be really meticulous, and that's what I mean. I can't just go whole hog, go into 1,000 calorie cut to get through it fast. I wish I could, but it's just not compatible with my life. So I think once having all this data came together, and that was like the turning point. I had this shift in like, this isn't just about losing weight. This is about bettering my overall health in a very holistic approach. I kind of was at this little limbo, not necessarily like in a bad way. I had the data. I knew that I had to be very mindful of how I approached things, but I hadn't like made any decisions yet about how I wanted to progress and move forward, how much I was going to cut, any of that. And I don't know, something just came over me. I had like a little voice in my head. I feel like my intuition has really guided me on this entire journey. I had a little voice in my head pop up and just say, like, why don't you search the internet for PMDD coaches? And in my mind, I'm thinking like fitness coaches, because I knew that fitness was supposed to be an aspect of this for me. And I knew I wanted to get back into weight training because I lifted weights, not like, I wouldn't say I was doing progressive overload or doing it like the best way you could do it, but I knew that I had really enjoyed lifting weights before I ever got pregnant. And I wanted to incorporate that back into my life. I knew it would be a good thing for me to do and a good outlet and kind of a little space for some me time. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, look for fitness coach, but I just typed in PMDD coaches, I think. And a lot of stuff came up on the first page. I saw a handful of more like, I don't want to say lifestyle coaches, but, you know, female coaches guiding women who suffer from PMDD with like what types of food they should be eating, ways to cope. And those are all wonderful things, but I was specifically like, I want to get fit. I clicked on some links and I wasn't really finding exactly what I was looking for. So I go back to the Google homepage, and probably like the fourth or fifth result down, I see just a link for an Instagram profile. It says Jamie Watkins Coaching. And, they have the little subheader under the actual link, and it said "the" in capitals. The coach for women with PMDD, PCOS, and endometriosis. So here I am. I'm intrigued. I click on it. Sure enough, this guy is a fitness coach, and he's got training content, like gym content on his page. So I'm like, I'm going to click follow. If this guy talks about fitness and he talks about working with women who suffer with the same thing that I have going on, I could probably learn some stuff just by following his content. Again, I hadn't made any decision in exactly what direction I was going, exactly what my game plan was, but it was like the information gathering stage. That really was my only intention when I clicked follow, was just like, what can I learn from this guy? What I didn't expect was for him to follow up later that day with a DM saying like, thanks for the follow. What is your plan for the coming year? Like, what do you want to achieve? And so I kind of laid it all out for him. I told him all of the stuff I had been doing to this point, the crazy tracking, the figuring out what my maintenance was and all of that. And of course, because it's his job, he's like, let's book a call and it's free. And I'm like, okay, this is unlike me. I generally am really averse to any type of online sales pitch, even if it's something I'm looking into. I'm just like, I worked in sales as an assistant, and I know sales is not immediately like a bad thing or a pushy thing, but I was just like, I'm so averse to it for some reason. But I'm like, what's it gonna hurt? It's a free call. So I book it. It's for a week later, and the day before rolls around and I'm getting anxious. I'm like, I don't want to do it. I had told him when we were chatting too, I'm like, we've got a big family, I've got 3 kids. My nephew lives with me. My husband's the only one who works and brings in a real income. Like, I don't want to waste your time. And he was like, we'll just get on the call. That was the day that we had first talked that I said that. I'm like, do I flake out on this guy? And I literally got into Instagram and I was about to pull up my DMs. And just that voice in my head, my intuition was like, take the call. That's all I heard. I was like, you know what? Again, I had to reiterate to myself, what have you got to lose? It's not going to hurt anything. And if you don't click, you don't have to say yes to somebody that doesn't click with you, or you genuinely can't afford. So just take the call. So I did. Before I get on this call the next day, everything's running through my head. I didn't really know much about fitness coaching online, especially on Instagram. I'm thinking like, I don't even really know what to expect. The last time I had any experience with internet fitness coaching was back in like the heyday of Beachbody, where someone would just add you to a Facebook Beachbody challenge group and you do like 21 Day Fix or P90X or one of those programs with the diet and all of that. And you would just like endlessly get into these groups and you would post in them. And I'm not dogging that. Like, that to me is better than doing absolutely nothing at all. But I think it's just not sustainable. I was always like having people come at me trying to become they wanted to onboard you, it was like a little pyramid scheme-ish, where they wanted like, you got to get more coaches under you. And then they try to convince you like, oh, just become a Shakeology coach, which is literally a coach that does nothing other than be a coach in the name. And it's just so you can get a discount on their protein shake, which was obscenely expensive. So the last time I did anything like that was back before I ever got pregnant with my first baby. So that was like probably 2017, 2018 was the last time I had any experience with internet coaching. I'm not thinking that this is going to be the exact same thing as that, but that's my only impression. So I really am going into this blind. I have no idea what I'm getting myself into. So what ends up happening is we get on the call. It's supposed to be a 30-minute consultation. It ends up being a 90-minute conversation where I tell him the story of my life up until that point, all the way from middle school, drinking Slim Fast, up to now. And he tells me about his qualifications, his education in the whole women coaching sphere. We go into tangents about travel and TV shows and just other random topics. And he's close to my age, so I feel like we had a very similar millennial experience, even though the guy's from the UK. We just ended up clicking. He really knew his stuff when it came to women's health. And I feel like I don't take myself very seriously. So like the fact that there was kind of a lightness to the conversation and no pressure really sold me on it. So we just moved forward from there, and I immediately joined the team, and I haven't looked back since. One of the biggest things that he said in that call too that still lands with me today, and I still think about it a lot, was he asked me, how long can this wait? Does this start now, or can you put this off? And I know that's to gauge whether or not somebody is committed to what they're about to sign up for. But it really did make me think, like, is this the time? It's almost like having kids. There is no ideal time to start anything ever. You just have to jump in. And so I was like, yeah, this can't wait anymore. If I hadn't started then, we're looking at now, I'm like 4.5, 5 months out. I would still be in pain. I would not be strengthening my knees. My body wouldn't be changing and getting stronger. I wouldn't be feeling healthier. I wouldn't be feeling as capable as I do now. I would still be sitting on my recliner and feeling sorry for myself because I'm in pain and I'm struggling to get up and down off the floor with my kids. And one of the best parts about this whole experience is that Jamie's coaching in particular is very customized. He met me exactly where I was at. Like, I told him, I'm not joining a gym. I just can't do that. I have to remove as many barriers between me and lifting weights as humanly possible to guarantee myself that I'm going to do it. Like, I have to set myself up for success. And he goes, that is not a problem. What equipment do you have? And I said, I have dumbbells. I have like a couple resistance bands, I think. That's all I own right now. And it didn't matter. He structured something out for me based on what I had in my house, knowing that it wasn't going to happen unless I just was able to go upstairs, leave the kids with their dad, and get it done. And then when I messed up my knee, he didn't just throw his hands in the air and be like, well, keep doing the same workouts you've been doing. No, he completely restructured it. We focused on maintaining and improving the upper body stuff that I could do. And then we swapped the lower body stuff into rehab focused. And I think that was something that really kept my head in the game. And I think if you're considering any type of coaching, obviously, one, you have to make sure you click with the person, but two, you have to make sure that they're going to understand that life happens. Nobody can stick to a perfect little outline that's been structured that you just mass send to clients. Everybody has different stuff going on in their lives. So one of my favorite things about coaching, especially with Jamie, is that he listens. Like, I came to him with all of the information about, this is how much I think my maintenance is. He didn't say, no, you're crazy, nobody needs to eat that much. He listened to me and he built his plan for me around that. Even sometimes when I come to him and I'm like, I feel like I'm not losing enough fat fast enough, he reminds me that I came to him with my receipts and I have the data. I collected it. It brings me back down to earth about the whole thing. Because even though I'm really intentionally focusing on deprogramming myself, I still get caught up in that mindset of, if I could just drop to a 500 or 750 deficit, that this process could go so much faster. And he brings me back. He's like, no, don't do it. Some of the major wins I've had since joining Jamie's team back in March, so like from March leading all the way to where we're at now, I've lost roughly 25 centimeters from my body overall. I've had definitive muscle growth that you can see in the progress photos I take weekly, especially in my upper body. I've had strength gains. I'm like hitting PRs now. I'm back to hitting PRs after getting over that knee injury. I kind of picked up where I left off, I'd say about a week or two ago, and now I'm surpassing that. I'm doing exercises I haven't done since high school. My clothes are fitting better, and the biggest change for me is that my cycles have become more regulated. I think I talked about this a little bit in a previous video, but I struggled to conceive at first. It was 10 years ago. I was 29. I had a 28-day cycle, and so I didn't know anything was off about it. The first few months of trying, I didn't get pregnant, so then I decided, well, I'm going to start tracking my ovulation with the test strips. Through that, I figured out that I actually didn't ovulate around day 14 like you normally would if you have a 28-day cycle. I was ovulating around day 21, but having a longer follicular phase from period leading up to ovulation means I had a very short luteal phase, which didn't give enough time basically for an egg to implant and turn into a pregnancy. In 10 years, I have never once ovulated on time. For the first 2 months of being on the team and starting weight training, my luteal phase progressively got longer. So I was still ovulating around week 3, but the time between ovulation to my period starting again got longer, which meant if I were trying to conceive, I no longer am, but if I were, I'd have better odds because I had an appropriate length for my luteal phase. And then after 2 months of that happening, the following 2 months, I say spontaneously, but it's really not spontaneous. I think it's linked to the weight training and eating appropriately and eating enough. I ovulated for the first time since I've been aware of my cycle on day 14. And then last month it was day 16. So roughly in that expected area. And then I had a full 2-week luteal phase, and I had these 28-day cycles that actually lined up the way they were meant to. And at the end of the day, cycle health is a clue into your overall general health. The number of positive changes I've experienced that I just listed off feels insane, especially in a 4 to 5 month span. The funny thing is, the one thing that hasn't changed that much is actually my weight. It has trended down, but it bounces back up and kind of goes all over the place. But it's undeniable that my body is changing physically by the photos and by the measurements. I can't deny it. So what that finally taught me, the scale is the least reliable and least interesting part of this journey. What I weigh, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but it's not the number one indicator of what my health looks like. All of these other things that I just talked about are a far better picture that I am improving my overall physical health. I can say at the start of this year, honestly, my goal was just lose weight. That was it. That was the goal. And in the last 9 months, it really has shifted to just become a healthier version of myself. Every single marker outside of my actual scale weight has been improved. So it's kind of hard to give as much of a shit about the scale when everything else is telling me you're doing great, man. As always, this got longer than I had hoped. I really thought I was going to nail it this time. I'm going to end today's video and the diet deprogramming series here. In future videos, I'll be discussing my slow and sustainable approach to changing my mindset and my health for the better. I also want to note that I'm starting a little side project of a podcast. It's called Donuts and Dumbbells, where I will be joining my coach, Jamie, once a month to discuss things related to fitness and health while we smash a delicious donut, because you can have your donut and eat it too. I'll link that below because I think I'll start a brand new channel for that, just to kind of have it be its own thing. If you've stayed this long, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I finally feel like I'm doing the dang thing. I'm doing the YouTube, and I just appreciate all the love and support. And I just am on a mission to help women understand their body and to stop being so hard on themselves. So if that resonates with you, smash the like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment below, and I guess that's it. I love you so much. Bye.